Alright, once again, Sparns House Hunting Team, and here I am revisiting the Armscor AK47/22. Alright, a lot of people have been having problems with the trigger. Alright, let me just rack that for you. Alright, first let me remove this mag so you know it's empty. Alright, always empty firearm. Alright, a lot of people have been having problems with their triggers. So I'm just going to revisit the Armscor AK47/22 on issues with the trigger, on how to put it back together so the trigger will work. All right. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to flip it to where I have it already apart and I'm messing with the action on it. All right. Now that we have it all apart, let's just check it's been cleared. So you see my trigger works. Okay. One more time. All right, now the trigger works. All right, so I'm just gonna take it apart and show you how I put it back together to keep having problems with the trigger. Let's just unscrew this here. Sometimes that can loosen up, and it was pretty loose. And this one hasn't been fired since the last video that's been fired in. All right, let's just try to pull the stuff apart and try to keep everything intact. I know it's a bad camera angle, but I don't have anyone to hold the camera for me right now. But I just need to get this video done. All right. There's another question a lot of people have asked me: can the stock come off? The stock. All right. There's the two screws here, one at the bottom, one at the top. You know, let's just show you the plate. All right. So there's like a little bolt in here. Let me take this camera back and show you. If you unscrew that, you see where it comes out at here. You can take the stock off, but because I can't find any aftermarket parts, I don't really see the need to take the stock off. So let's just finish where we are. So, like I said, you take that out. I don't want to take the bolt out because it was done in the last video. So, if you haven't seen those videos, just click on to the Armscor AK47/22 and click on Armscor Revisit it. So let's just get this back together. Like I said, you keep everything intact. Make sure everything stays intact. So you see here, you just keep it all intact. Now with the trigger, I don't take the trigger out further than this from where it is now, but I make sure I slide that into the bolt. I have a bad camera angle, but sometimes you got to apply a little pressure to get it started. See how I made the trigger go forward just now? On that, just a little bit of pressure to get it started. Okay. Now, once you finish doing that, now you, well, see, pull back on the bolt. Now I'm having that issue because I really let the trigger go forward. Pull back on it. Now, once you start pulling back on it, see how it freed up? You just keep a little pressure here, free it up, and make sure it screws all the way down and gets tight. Now, make sure the trigger is working, but now my trigger is actually working. So I'm going to back it out again. So we're going to go over this step one more time. One more time. Make sure it's completely out. Make sure everything is lined up inside the center of the bolt. Inside. All right. Make sure everything's lined up. If you want, you can bring the bolt out. Just make sure you put these springs together and everything is lined up. The position of everything. Make sure you get that lined up in there. Make sure the other spring goes through. Everything's centered right in the center of that bolt. Okay, push that bolt forward. Now you got to apply a little pressure here to get it started again. Once it gets started, you hit the trigger. Trigger went forward. And you back out a little bit, apply a little pressure here, which once again on camera this now wants to give me a hard time. Let's just back it out. All right. Now, if you can't get it the first time, let me just tell you, it took me like 3 or 4 tries the very first time I took this weapon apart just to get it to go. So we go here. I'm applying a little bit of pressure there. Once you apply the pressure, you get it to screw all the way on. Once it's tight, only hand tighten it, hit the trigger. Let me rack it first, hit the trigger. So therefore my trigger's functional. All right, I know a lot of people are having problems with these triggers, but once you get it lined up, and for some reason this particular weapon is very, very finicky. It has to line up perfect. Therefore my trigger's now working. For the sake of time, I'm just gonna stop it, put it back together, so you see this complete. And then the next time I get a chance, I'll take it out to the range, fire it. That way you know it works. All right, now we have it put back together. You know, this is how I always lock my safety. Make sure it's open. Lock my slide open, I should say. So, safety's on. Rack. One other thing I forgot to go off. If you're having a problem with the trigger, make sure wherever you take it off, you know, make sure your safety is not engaged and this is actually connected, because there could be a problem while your triggers are sticking, because maybe your safety is not lined and it's keeping the trigger on lock. But other than that, that's just a quick look at the trigger, because a lot of people are having problems with the trigger and putting it all back together. But if you have any questions, you can reach me on my email, you know, message me. I'll get right back to you at your earliest convenience. Just give me a time zone that you're in so I don't call while you're sleeping, because I'm on Eastern Standard Time. But other than that, any other questions, just feel free to reach out to me. All right. Barnes Howell Hunting Team, we're out. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Barnes Howell Hunting Team, we're out.